The COVID task force at Piedmont Healthcare here in Atlanta and joins us this morning with the latest on the situation. Good morning. Let's start with a simple question, Dr. Morgan. How bad is it here in Georgia?
Well, I think certainly we have seen it worse with our previous surge with Delta. But the fact of the matter is the numbers are climbing very, very quickly here. And we're starting to absolutely put measures into place to prepare for what probably is coming in January. We are expecting quite an onslaught in the month of January, beginning of the year.
The National Guard is being deployed to hospitals and testing sites. What kind of impact is that going to have?
So I think, when we are preparing for a crisis situation, we often might utilize FEMA as well as the National Guard to help us with the volume of patients, some of these other tasks that we have to do, and also such that we can always make certain that we are managing every patient and that we are giving every patient the absolute best care. And so that helps to offload some of the strain of our hospital systems.
There are reports of people being turned away at hospitals. Who's making those decisions, and what's the criteria to make those decisions?
And so I haven't heard those reports. We have Impala, our emergency, our rules regarding how we are to manage patients as they come to the hospital. It's called Impala. And as long as your hospital has an emergency room, we are required to screen every single patient for an emergent medical treatment. And so I certainly have not heard of that anywhere here in the state of Georgia with regard to turning patients away. We certainly are not at a stage where even that would be considered. But because of Impala, that really wouldn't be done anyway. We probably would convert areas of the hospital that perhaps haven't been used traditionally for treatment and for patients. We can convert other areas like a cafeteria or a parking lot, etc. So we would not turn patients away from the emergency room. That being said, we also don't want people coming to the emergency room for non-urgent care, like having a COVID test if you're not actually sick and just seeking a test. So we want to deploy those types of patients to other places such that we have the capacity to treat our emergencies.
New Year's Eve plans are already changing. In Atlanta, the peach drop already canceled. So what do you anticipate in the weeks ahead for hospitals?
I think we can anticipate, a fairly challenging month of January as we see Omicron continue to rise. We still, don't forget, have Delta that we're also managing. We have to also prepare for staff shortages as we see that this particular variant is incredibly contagious, incredibly transmissible, and we may have staffing shortages as well. And how do we manage that? And so all of these are measures that every hospital, not just here in the state of Georgia, but every hospital CEO is managing and putting measures into place such that we can be prepared for these patients and for the triage of these patients and for managing medical care. As you probably remember, at the very beginning of the pandemic, one of the tools that was utilized was to shut down elective procedures such that we could open up more capacity in the hospital. And so this is also one of the tools that could be employed as well, but many options. But turning away patients at the emergency room is not one of those options.
Okay, Dr. Jane Morgan, Executive Director of the COVID Task Force at Piedmont Healthcare. Thank you for taking the time with us this morning.
Thank you.